14 minutes after 8 o'clock on your Friday morning. It is my pleasure today. It's been a while. Karen Onan in this morning. She is from the East Central Regional Transportation Coordinating Council. I have not had Karen in here for a little while, so it's great to have her bright, shiny face in. And I'm also happy, I know Karen's going to do some more explanation here, but Tami is it Seelen, Tami?
Yes, Seelen.
It is. Okay, I wanted to be sure I pronounced it correctly. And she is a TRICAP volunteer driver program manager.
Yes.
So it's so nice to have both of you in this morning, and we're going to talk transportation, how we can help people right in our backyard. So thanks, ladies, for being in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So let's start. Why don't we, Karen, I'll let you kind of help lead the way here, because this is kind of your deal as far as transportation, understanding everything that goes with it. Let's mention the website right at the beginning so people understand the availability, and then we'll get Tami in here.
Okay. All right. Well, the website for transportation information is eastcentraltransit.com. It's that simple. Just put that right in, and you'll be able to also connect to our Facebook page there. But we have a directory on the site that has all of the current transportation providers that are in the region. It also has plug-in to electrical car charging station locations there, has our contact information there as well. And we'd love to have people, log on. Now, one thing that is on that also is if anybody is ever interested in becoming a volunteer driver, you can go onto that page, and there's a menu with the volunteer driver area, and you can click on that, and you can sign up to become a volunteer driver really simply. And a couple weeks ago, it just happened. It was awesome. We had put some posts out on Facebook, and we got a volunteer driver, somebody who signed up. She wanted to drive in Chisago County, because you can write the county that you want to drive in. And I immediately got a hold of Colette at Arrowhead. They called her up that same day, and they've already signed her up. So
a love connection.
It was awesome.
Right? Don't you love that?
It is easy. And it comes to me,
okay,
and then I get it to the right person. Like I would send it to Tami if somebody wanted to volunteer drive in Mille Lacs County. If somebody wants to drive in Kanabec County, I would get them in touch with Helen at Timber Trail. So it's as easy as that. So I'm really happy to have Tami here. She's a new. How long have you been in your position?
Oh, about a year and a half.
Okay. Oh, that's not so new. Well, sort of new.
It's kind of new yet, but yeah.
Well, you started out in a position that really didn't exist really before, correct?
Well, they had the volunteer driver program, but it was housed with the bus service. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have someone who specifically was working on the volunteer driver program. So about a year and a half ago, that's where I came in, and I kind of took it over, and we've been just growing ever since.
Yeah, I think you're doing really well. How many volunteers do you have now?
So now we are up to, as of yesterday, I believe it's 38.
Wow.
And we have a couple more that's our benchmark, is trying to get to 40. And we have 2 more that are in the works. So I think we're going to get there sooner than we thought.
Well, excellent. And then so some of these drivers can come over into Mille Lacs County and drive, or they live in Mille Lacs County and they drive from their home.
Yep. So we try to get drivers from everywhere. Mille Lacs County, if they're close to Mille Lacs County, or just different areas. Because a lot of our rides, you don't necessarily have to live right by the person you're going to pick up. You get your mileage from your home. So for instance, if we found a driver who was, say, 15, 20 miles from where the ride is, they still get the mileage to the person, and then they take them to their appointment and back, and they get the mileage for the whole trip, but they don't necessarily have to live right in the same town they're picking up the person. There's just so much need that we have to take drivers from wherever we can get drivers. And so we're just happy to get anyone who's in the vicinity of, in Mille Lacs County, in the next county over, whatever, we can find rides for you to do.
Excellent.
So is it they use their own vehicles then, it sounds like,
yes,
correct?
So this one is you'd use your own vehicle. You get paid the federal rate for mileage. So it's 67 cents per mile for 2024.
Okay.
You get paid the mileage from your home to the person that you're picking up to take the appointment, to the appointment, and then there'd be a wait time because they're going to be going into an appointment. So it might be a half an hour, it might be an hour. Sometimes we do have appointments that last longer. We'll let you know ahead of time so you can decide if you wanted to wait that long or not. Some of them might be like 3 hours. Some of our funding sources actually pay wait time, so you could actually make a little bit of extra money with this wait time for waiting, but not all of them do. But we let you know ahead of time. And so it's kind of a nice way to, if you have things to do, you don't have to stay at the appointment. And so if you, say, for instance, had an hour wait, you can leave and go get groceries or go get a cup of coffee, or some of our drivers just to read a book or go for a walk. We have one driver now who actually brings a bicycle with, and then he just rides the bike around for some exercise while he's waiting. So we have a lot of different options, a lot of different places to go.
Yeah.
But one thing I'd like to say is our rides they're not just always real short. Like you might pick someone up in, say, Cambridge, and you would take them maybe to the cities. We have rides that go up to Duluth. We have rides that went into North Dakota. So we have Rochester, Mayo, we have rides. So some of our drivers love those long hauls, and we mark everything down in your file. So if you want to do the long ones, we put that in. If you want to stay, nope, I only want to go like 20 miles from my house as max, we put that in.
It sounds like a really good collaboration between the driver and you, or the scheduler, or,
Yes.
so that a person knows if they're volunteering, they know where they're going, they know how long it's going to take, they have all the details, and they have contact. They're in contact with you.
Yes. So once you're signed up, the week before on Thursday, we email out what we call a manifest, and it has all your rides on it, where you'll be going, the approximate wait time, all the information you'll need. When you get that in the email, if you look and like, oh, shoot, I forgot to take off next Thursday and they have a ride on me, you just email us back and say, I can do, this ride and this ride, but the Thursday one you have to take off because I have other plans. So then we just give it to a different driver. So that way you can kind of plan your week. We also have rides that come in last minute. So we might get somebody calling in for a ride that needs it that same day or the next day. So then if you're willing to take those type of rides, we'll call and say, this ride just came in. It's for tomorrow, 1 o'clock, going here, whatever the situation is. And then you can just let us know, yeah, I'll take that ride, or nope, I'm busy tomorrow, I can't do it. And then we just say, okay, thank you for, thinking of us, and we will just try the next person.
Sure. I just wanted to ask about TriCap, just being kind of a layperson here. So is it kind of like Arrowhead or Timber Trail? So it's a company like that. Is it based out of Mille Lacs County then? Is that the tie-in to Mille Lacs County? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yep. So we have funding sources. So right now we work with Medica, Blue Ride, and then 5 counties. And one of those counties, is Mille Lacs County.
Okay.
And so we get rides from them, and so they could originate here, or they could be coming here, or whatever. So it's kind of depending on where our funding sources send us a ride for.
Sure.
A self-pay ride, on the other hand, can be done by the actual client. They will call us, and the way our self-pay rides work is, so our drivers still get paid the same mileage, and so we actually charge 89 cents per mile to the client, and they have to pay for that themselves if they don't have a funding source.
Sure.
And that's why we're looking for drivers from a lot of different areas, because we have to start that 89 cents from the driver's home. And so to make it affordable as much as we can for the clients, we try to pick the driver that's the closest to them. But we've found that, especially like going into the cities, some of these longer rides, it's a lot cheaper than other options. Mm-hmm. And so we are working on getting a lot more self-pay rides now. And the one project we're working on is trying to help subsidize the self-pay rides for people who can't afford the 89 cents per mile. Sure. And so that is a project we're working on now that's, we don't have it going yet, but that's something I'm hoping to have done soon in the next few months.
Excellent. That's great. Well, just to answer your question a little bit further, TriCap is based, I think, in the St. Cloud area, and TriCap is a cap agency, obviously, so they help a lot of different people with a lot of different things. And maybe people have seen, there's a billboard on 65 when you're coming south on 65 into Mora, and it has, do you need help with housing or other things like Lakes and Pines is a cap agency as well. Okay. So it's very similar, but TriCap has transportation attached to it. So they have TriCap buses, and so they do have a bus service just like Arrowhead, which is also has a CAP agency. Now, Timber Trails is owned by the county, so that's a little bit different. That's just here nor there, but so just to let you know, there's a
I think
whole
it's a good
bus
explanation. Yeah, how that works. But this aspect of TRICAP is people using their own vehicles, making these arrangements, and then taking the job, if you will, to get somebody from point A to point B.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And if you use your own vehicle, then you get the mileage reimbursement.
Right. There you go.
And then you had also mentioned that there's some vans available.
Yes. So we bought 3 vans now that we have in our Wade Park location. So that'd be a bit far to go to pick up a van. But if you drive one of our vans, then we pay for the gas and everything. And so then you just do the ride as a volunteer. One goal we have is to maybe put the vans in different locations. And so like if we had one in Elk River or one of our other places where we house our buses, we could have the van there so it's more convenient to get to for a volunteer. And then they could use our van, not have to use their own vehicle. But this would not have the mileage reimbursement attached to it.
Okay.
Right. There's different facets into what you're going to be using.
Yeah. So
be
it's kind of like
pronounced.
two separate kinds of volunteers we're looking for.
Sure. And I was going to ask too, from an insurance standpoint, if you're driving yourself, I just thought it might not hurt to bring that up if somebody's thinking of being a volunteer. They use their own insurance, correct?
Yeah, so you use your own insurance. So when we check the insurance every year, make sure that it's up to date, and we do background checks, for security reasons.
Sure.
Most insurance companies, there is no extra charge for it. I've heard from a couple drivers, like one driver, I think he said it was like $4 extra for the year. But we always ask the drivers when they come to sign up, it's like, we tell them this, like check with your insurance company, make sure, and be sure to tell them you're a volunteer, because there's also like Uber and Lyft type things. And, so you're not doing it as like that. So they probably do have to pay extra. But as a volunteer driving, we haven't found there's much, if any, added thing to your insurance.
Okay. That just I thought was kind of
Yeah, that was a really good
Yeah.
question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody wants to know about that. Okay, so you can, a volunteer driver can go anywhere.
Yes. And right now, so if we get a ride request in, and I mean, we call them no load miles.
Yeah.
We can pick a driver. Well, we try to pick the closest driver. And if there's none available, we have called in and asked the funding source. It's like, okay, only driver we have lives 40 miles from this person. We're going to need to have 80 no load miles if we want to do this ride. And they're so short on having people to do the rides that they will pay that. So the driver basically is driving for that 80 miles without a person in their car.
Wow.
But they still get reimbursed.
That's
but then that
excellent.
person still can get to their appointment, which is the most important thing.
Yes.
Sure. And in time, hopefully it'll continue to grow and more people, and then there won't be so much of that, like you say, the load time where they're just driving without anybody with them.
Right.
I see some things coming down the pike here that I would really like to help you out with. And as far as, the subsidy for the private pay, that is really awesome. Something they're kind of doing that over in Canaba County. They've got the assisted transportation service going now. There was something else, too, that you mentioned. Oh, the van, getting the van possibly into Mille Lacs County would be really cool to have a van there. So.
Yep. And then we're planning on using those for more like local rides. Like if you just have to get over to like a medical appointment, dentist, even picking up groceries. Some of our funding sources pay for, whatever they need, we do a ride for.
Is there an age restriction on how old or young a volunteer needs to be, and riders too?
So the volunteer drivers just need to be over 21.
Okay.
And we take any ages, but we do, if you sign up to be a volunteer driver, we ask if you're willing to take children or if you mind taking children. We have some that say no, they don't want to, which is fine. The ones that do, we provide a car seat, and so we put that in. And if the kids are really little, they usually come like with a parent or something, and then that parent can put the car seat in for.
Right.
So it's really flexible. Like we really try to work with our volunteer drivers, having them have a good experience and doing what they want to do and places they want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what's so important with this is just to understand that it's not just one area specifically that they cover. Again, it's our 7 counties, right? Our Pick'em counties, Karen. We'll cover that whole area, correct?
Yep. So right now we have contracts with Stearns, Sherburne, Benton, Mille Lacs, and Morrison County.
Right.
But we do go out of county too. We have county rides that call us, and then we just have to do a special form with them, a little contract, and then we just send it out so we can get reimbursed from them.
Okay.
So, and we also, one thing I'm going to bring up is we do one-way rides. And so we have sometimes where it's a family visit. So we might have a driver who brings like a child to a family member. We have some that go from St. Cloud like to Minneapolis. That's just an example. They bring the child, and then on Sunday, a different driver goes back and brings them home. So that's called a one-way ride. So the driver still gets the whole mileage. It's just a one-way. You're just dropping someone off. So it's kind of nice because sometimes our drivers will have something they want to do in the city. So then they're down there, so they can just do what they want, and they still get paid their mileage.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. This is some great information. I bet folks aren't even aware of the availability. So something to check out is with this. And I know we're getting a little short on time. Is there anything else we want to do before we wrap up here?
I want to make sure that you talk about your contact
so
information.
we have our website is just simply tricap.org. Okay. And you can go on there and just click on the volunteer tab. There, you can also look on our website to see all the other options we have. There's a lot of help out there. So you can check out our website, see what we have all available. But if you're interested in being a volunteer driver, or if you just want more information on it or want to give us a call, we're more than happy to talk to you. No strings attached, no obligation. Just give us a call. And our number is 320-251-1612, and then you'd want to hit option 1, then option 2, or just stay on the line and they'll get you to us. Sure. And we'd be happy to talk to you about being a volunteer driver.
Will you give the number one more time?
320-251-1612.
1612. And Karen, I know that you're so good about having this information. I really like the website because it's easy, especially with radio, to remember. So eastcentraltransit.com, all the availabilities there.
And then
right?
if you go to the directory, I believe, and I'm pretty positive, that all of the links are live. So when you go into the directory, you'll find TriCap, and you can click on that link, and it'll take you right there.
It just saves with trying to remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
perfect. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure. I so appreciate both of you coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
you bet.
thank you.
You bet. And we'll have another get-together down the road here. No pun intended with the road. Yeah. Oh, terrible. Thanks, gals. I appreciate it. And this has been partially funded by our friends at MnDOT.